Hi guys, today I'm going to be making a video reviewing what happened over the weekend in boxing. I'm going to start with the card in Ireland. We've got Michael Conlan against Jordan Gill. Jordan Gill won that by a technical, he won by TKO in the 7th round. This is the only fight from the card that I've watched. Yeah, Jordan Gill just looked much bigger than Michael Conlan, and I think I spoke about that in the preview before this event. I said about how Michael Conlan, I think, is way too small for the super featherweight division, and I think that will play into Jordan Gill's hands a bit. Jordan Gill was able to walk him down. I don't think Michael Conlan could really put a dent in Jordan Gill to stop him just coming forward. Michael Conlan definitely needs to move to the 122-pound super bantamweight division if he wants to have any chance of winning a world title. Jordan Gill is European level, and if Michael Conlan wants to win a world title, he definitely needs to go back down to the 122-pound division, which I think is probably where his best wins have come, I'd say, against TJ Doheny and Baluta and just people like that. Yeah, I think it was a good stoppage. I think Jordan Gill got him in the corner, started unloading blows on him. Michael Conlan didn't really look like he was going to be able to get away from the shots. Yeah, I think I said Michael Conlan was going to win that fight, so I'm a bit surprised Jordan Gill won the fight. I said neither of them really had any knockout power, so I would say it goes later in the fight. I don't think Jordan Gill has a lot of knockout power still. I'll just say he was able to unload a lot of punches on him, and he was much bigger. I'd say it wasn't really knockout power, it was just an accumulation of punches. Michael Conlan was boxing well. Michael Conlan is definitely the better boxer out of the two, I'd say. Michael Conlan was boxing well, moving around the ring, but his punches just couldn't keep Jordan Gill off, and Jordan Gill's a much bigger boxer. He was just able to walk him down. Michael Conlan won most of the rounds, I'd say, other than I think he got knocked down in the second round. Michael Conlan got knocked down in the second round. I'd say other than that, I think Michael Conlan pretty much won all of the rounds, and obviously the 7th round where he got stopped, he didn't win. But I'd say all the other rounds, I'd say he just won based on smart movement, and quick counter punches. But Jordan Gill was just able to walk through those and eventually wear him down and tire Michael Conlan out. And also he's not a natural 130-pounder, so maybe that extra weight played a impact on him, got tired quicker, I don't know. Yeah, he's moved trainer, Michael Conlan, now. I feel like he definitely needs to get back down to 122 pounds where he's got his best wins. So what I think for the winner, or what I think for the boxers, Michael Conlan obviously needs to move down to 122 pounds, like I've said. I'd like to see him fight, if he signed with Eddie Hearn, potentially Akhmadaliev or Lewis Neri, potentially. But I think if he moves down to 122, those guys are world level and potentially going to be fighting for a world title soon. I think it's hard to say with Michael Conlan because I wouldn't put him in a world level fight at 122 pounds. I think European level at 122 pounds. Maybe a I think his name's Liam Davis. Liam Davis, yeah. Sorry, I just need to look at that. Liam Davis, potentially. I think he's the European champion. although that might even be a step too far for Michael Conlan at the moment, because he's lost 3 out of his last 5 now. And his only wins came against Mariaga and Guerfi, who came off that war with Jordan Gill, so probably would have had something taken away from him. Liam Davis, there's Dennis McCann, although I think Dennis McCann and Liam Davis are going to fight. There's Jason Cunningham, but they've had a fight already. Zulani Tete, who's a former world champion. I think that would be a decent fight. I think he just needs to get to British level, even though he's not British, he's Irish obviously, but around British level, European level, build himself back up a bit, and then potentially challenge for a world title in the future. Then we've got, for Jordan Gill, what I'd say for Jordan Gill. Jordan Gill's definitely got to stay at super featherweight now. Can't go back down to featherweight. Super featherweight's his division now. I would say an Anthony Kakachi. I think that would be a hard fight to make, because he fights for Queensbury and Jordan Gill fights for Matchroom, which I think is bad that obviously you can't make those cross-promotion fights, but unless they're going to work with each other, which hopefully I think they might start doing a bit more now, potentially with like the money coming from the Saudis. Hopefully they'll be able to start working together a bit more. I think just like British level, maybe get a British title, European title again, and then work up to world level. Who else could he fight? Yeah, I think you've just got to work Jordan Gill up like an Anthony Kakachi. Let me have a look at the rankings a minute for the super featherweight. Right, so there is potential fights for him, I'd say. Anthony Kakachi, Hector Luis Garcia potentially, after coming off that loss to Lamont Roach. There's Hamazarian, who I think is Armenian. He had a fight with Jordan Gill a couple of years ago, I think. Did he have a fight with Jordan Gill? No, not Jordan Gill, sorry, Joe Cordina. Did he have a fight with Joe Cordina? No, he didn't have a fight with Joe Cordina. He beat Jorge Linares by unanimous decision. Potentially a Jamel Herring. In the box rec rankings, Oscar Valdez is only 1 place ahead of Jordan Gill, so potentially that, but there's more of a gap between them, I'd say. Abraham Nova, I think that would be a decent fight. Jordan Gill versus Abraham Nova, who's lost to Rubisi Ramirez, who's a very good boxer, world titleist. Yeah, someone around that level, I'd say. Maybe John O'Carroll I've just seen is also in the division still. Or Francisco Fonseca. There's options for Jordan Gill, I'd say, like European world level, somewhere around there. Yeah, I think he's just short of that world level, I'd say, unfortunately, for Jordan Gill. I'd like for him to prove me wrong, because I like Jordan Gill, but I guess we'll have to see how he does in his upcoming fights and where Matchroom want to put him. Then in the co-main event, as I said, I haven't seen any of these fights yet. I've just seen the Michael Conlan and Jordan Gill fight. Tyrone McKenna lost to Lewis Crocker. by a unanimous decision in the welterweight division. I haven't seen it. The fight, Lewis Crocker. Where could Lewis Crocker go now? Is Lewis Crocker British? Because if he's British, I could see potentially. Yes, he's British, 18-0. I could see potentially a British title fight for him. Don't think he's won the British title before. No, potentially a British title fight for him. In the welterweight division, I think that's held by Harry Scarf. I think that would be a good fight. He's ranked number 2 in Britain according to BoxRec. Ahead of Conor Ben. I don't know. I'd have to see the Lewis Crocker fight, to be honest. Yeah, there's Harry Scarf, there's Echo Esserman, there's Chris Congo, Michael Mickinson, somewhere around that British level. Moving on to European. I'd like to see him win the British title and then move on to the European level. Then we've got Agyarko versus Tyrone McKenna, or Troy Williamson. I don't know why I said Tyrone McKenna there. Agyarko on split decision in the super welterweight division. One thing that stood out for me was Troy Williamson was much bigger than him. The fact there's a split decision, again, I haven't seen the fight. I would say potentially there was something going on. Well, not something going on. I'd say basically if it's a split decision, I'd say the hometown fighter probably won it, like 9 times out of 10. And Agyarko had the home advantage. Eddie Hearn's his promoter. I would say for Agyarko, Troy Williamson, there's not much. After being Troy Williamson, he obviously can't win the British title because he's Irish, I think, isn't he? I'm pretty sure Agyarko is Irish. Yes, Agyarko's Irish, right? So he can't win the British title, obviously. I'd say try and get him towards a European title. I think that's held by JJ Metcalf. He's the European champion, I believe, at the super welterweight, £154. Yeah, I think that'd be a good fight. I guess we'll have to see what happens, where he wants to take him. And then over in America, I've only seen the main event for this one, Ryan Garcia and Oscar Duarte. Ryan Garcia won by 8th round knockout. I think Garcia started fast in the first 4 rounds. He looked good. I'd say sometimes when he was still doing that left hook, his right hand came down a bit, which seriously needs to be sorted out. Otherwise, when he gets to that higher level, he will get caught again like he did against Gervonta Davis. I'd say between 4 and 5, 6, 7, I'd say Duarte probably won those rounds. He was more aggressive coming forward. I don't know if Ryan Garcia was a bit tired, but Ryan Garcia still needs to improve, I'd say. I don't know why he's tired if he speaks about all this new dedication to boxing. I'm not saying he's not dedicated to boxing, because I think he probably is more dedicated after that loss, but I don't know why he got tired, why Duarte was able to walk him down and win those 3 rounds, when Ryan Garcia in the first 4 rounds seemed a level above Oscar Duarte, or potentially 2 levels above Oscar Duarte. Ryan Garcia is a much bigger person. He shouldn't be getting walked down by Duarte like that. he should be, and getting tired against Duarte, he should be able to keep his range, keep throwing as he's moving, even if he's going to move around the ring, make sure he keeps throwing to keep him off. He obviously got the 8th round stoppage with a good combination, dropped him. Oscar Duarte tried to time it perfectly to get up, but the referee called it off because he got to 9 and 10. Ryan Garcia's still got a lot to improve, I'd say, if he's going to be one of the best at 140 pounds, and he's spoken about conquering the 140 pound division and 147 pound division. I personally can't. I could see him winning a world title. I can't say he would dominate and beat everyone in those divisions. I think he called out Rolly Romero in the post-fight interview. I'd say that's a good fight. He can then win a world title. Yeah, I think he'd beat Rolly Romero. I don't rate Rolly Romero at all. And then I think Ryan Garcia would win his first world title. Other than that, I don't think he can fight any of the other world champions without another couple of wins, because I don't think he doesn't look at his sharpest at the moment, and I feel like he still has areas that he can improve on, which I'm sure he will improve on under Derek James, because Derek James is a really good coach. But yeah, I want to see Ryan Garcia improve, because I do like him and he has a good personality for boxing, and his fight against Gervonta Davis was, I'd say, a catalyst for the big fights that have happened this year, like the Canelo Charlo and the Crawford Spence, and other big fights that are getting made for next year, like the Fury Usyk. I'd say the money that Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis generated has had a good impact on the sport, because everyone thinks now they've done it, so we can do it if we put the big fights together. So I like the impact that he's had on the sport. I like his attitude, constantly trying to have tough fights. I'd say he definitely won't go undefeated for the rest of his career, because he'll take tough fights, I do think. And I think he's probably slightly below the top guys at the moment. So like the Devin Haney's, obviously if Devin Haney defeats Regis Prograis, like the Teofimo Lopez, like the Matthias. Yeah, there's just a lot of interesting fights for Ryan Garcia, to be fair. So yeah, guys, that's it for my boxing review of the weekend. Looking forward to the boxing preview next week for the Devin Haney Regis Prograis fight and that card. And then you've also got Chris Billum-Smith. He's fighting on the Sunday. Just excited for the fights, to be honest. I think it'll be a good weekend of fights next week. Thanks, guys, for listening. Please like and subscribe. Comment what you like, what you don't like about the videos. Thanks, guys. Your opinion would be much appreciated. Thank you.